What is up everyone, this is Mike from iGadgetsWorld, and today's video we're going to be doing the settings for the PlayStation 5 on Samsung QLED QLED 800T. So this Q800T is the 8K model which can do 8K up to 60Hz, and also it can do 4K 120Hz. So without any further delay, we'll get into the settings. Before we do that, make sure to hit the subscribe button and hit the notification bell so you will be getting notified whenever there's a new video on the channel. Alright. So first thing we're going to do is on the TV. So we're going to do it with the Samsung remote control. So we're going to hit the home button and I'm going to show you which HDMI it is connected to. So it's connected to HDMI 4. Make sure that your PlayStation 5 is connected to the HDMI 4 on Samsung QLED, Q800T, Q90T, Q900T, 900TS. Any higher model which can do 4K 120Hz is the HDMI 4, which can do 4K 120Hz. If you connect to port 1, 2, 3, it's not going to do it. It specifically has a gaming logo on the port, so make sure it is connected to that console, gaming, or controller logo for the HDMI 4. It should be connected there. A lot of people are saying that they're not getting 4K 120Hz on the PlayStation 5. That's the reason. Make sure you connect it to the port HDMI port 4. And after that, you have to do one thing on the TV first. Go hit that home button, and then you have to go to the settings button right here. You can see that the picture mode right now is in movie. Let me lower the volume so that you can hear me properly. Okay, so the picture mode is in movie, and if you click on it, it's filmmaker, dynamic, standard, natural, movie, and again filmmaker. But we do not have the game mode, right? So you have to turn on the game mode from here. So we're gonna switch it to the game mode here, on. So as soon as the game mode is on, you can see that we have the game sound on and the game HDR on, right? So that's not it. We have to do one more thing. So we're gonna hit the settings, and we're gonna go to the expert settings, and then we're gonna go and see that the color tone, I actually set it to warm. If you like standard, you can keep it there, but you can switch it between the warm 1, warm 2. I like it to be at warm 2. For RPG games, I switch it to warm 1 or standard for the FPS games because I want more brightness, more bluish colors. I mean, not cinematic, because you're playing FPS games. So this is what I prefer, but this is just up to you. Okay, one more thing that we will do, we'll go to the general settings, and we're gonna go to the external device manager. This is the function for the devices connected to your TV, external devices. So we go there, we make sure that HDMI CEC is turned on so that you can use the remote control for the PlayStation 5 to play your streaming apps, or you can navigate with this remote control. So you don't need the controller to navigate around. So you can use this remote control, but make sure the AnyNet Plus HDMI CEC is turned on. Then you have to make sure that go to the game mode settings, and game mode is on. You can get the surround sound for the game mode from the TV speakers. If you're not using any sound bar or any home theater system, you can get the surround sound from your TV speakers. Then go to the game motion plus settings. I keep it off. If you're playing car racing, you can turn it on. I usually play the fast-paced or fast motion games. I don't really need the game motion plus to do the jitter reduction or blur reduction. I just do the in-game settings for that. Let's say if I'm playing Call of Duty, I'm gonna do the graphics setting for the blur and all that, for the weapon blur. I'm gonna do that in the in-game settings. So I just keep it off here, but you can play with this menu if you want to. Okay, so now we're gonna do one thing and make sure that input signal plus is on. I have it on all the devices because all of my devices are 4K HDR. So if you're not getting the 4K HDR, this is one of the reasons that you have to get all of these HDMIs to the input signal plus mode. Should be showing this blue color icon here. So 4 is connected right now and it's showing blue, so we're all good. So that's all you have to do from the TV settings itself. One more thing which is very important, you have to turn on the HGIG, HGIG. This is specifically for games. So Samsung having no issues with the Gamma or PlayStation right now doesn't even do the FreeSync or variable refresh rate, so you don't have to worry about any issues caused by the HGig or dynamic tone mapping. So make sure that HGig is turned on. Okay, so this is where we are done with the TV. So now we have to do these settings. As we have changed it to the gaming mode, now we have to do the settings in the PlayStation 5 itself. So I'm just going to use the TV remote control right here, and I'm going to press OK. Okay, it's going to ask me to adjust the screen. So I can increase the brightness to the level where the picture right there just disappears. I don't know if you can see from my camera. I'll try if you can see. All right, ISO, I have to lower it to 50. Now you can see, right? So we have to make sure that this image right there, over there, it just disappears. Okay, there we go. It disappears. But now I have to bring it back, just give it a nudge and just bring it back. Just press it once. So that's where it has to be, barely visible. Okay, you can see it's barely visible right there. Okay, now we're going to press next, and we're going to do the same thing here. We're going to make sure it disappears right here. Okay, and then I'm going to bring it back where it's just barely visible. Okay, now it's barely visible. And I'm going to press next. Same thing here. Make sure it's invisible, and then I can press one button so it's barely visible. All right. I don't know if you can see that on my camera, but this is how you should do it. Just follow the instructions, make sure it is barely visible. So barely visible would be just make it disappear and just press the brightness increase button one more time. Okay, so we are done with the HDR calibration on the console. And let me increase the ISO back so that you can see what's on my screen. Okay, this should be good. I hope my camera can do the justice and you can see exactly what I'm seeing at the screen. But we're going to continue this calibration. So it's done within the console itself. Now we're going to go to the settings and do a few things for the 4K HDR. We're going to do 120 Hertz, and we're going to see if we can play let's say the Call of Duty at 120 Hertz or not, 4K 120 Hertz. So we're going to go to the sound, screen and video, and we're going to make sure that we have 4K 60 Hertz, and we have resolution up to, right there, you can see we have resolution up to 120 Hertz. So we should be fine. But now we have to do one more setting. So we're going to head back to the Save Data and Game App settings. And we're going to head down to the Game Presets. And we're going to change the performance mode from here. And we're going to switch to performance mode. So we're going to switch to performance mode. This will give us the 120 Hertz gameplay. So I'm going to go now and start a game. Let's start the Cold War. Okay, so the game is loading, and we're going to have to see whether we are in the 120 Hertz or not. Okay, so now we're going to hit settings and go to the graphics, and we're going to go and see if we have 120 Hertz enabled or not. As you can see that 120 Hertz is enabled. Let me lower the ISO so you can see my screen. Samsung is super bright, so it is kind of hard to see. But you can see right there that refresh rate 120 Hertz is enabled. I don't know why there's a kind of bulb in between in the wallpaper, which is weird. I don't know why Call of Duty has done something like that. But it's enabled. To make sure that it is enabled, now we're going to do one more thing, and I'll show you in the settings that it is enabled. Okay. So I'm going to leave the game. I'm not going to close it. Go to settings, and we're going to go to the screen and video, output information. And right there, you can see that we have the 4K 120 Hertz. So that is 2160p 120 Hertz. So now we are good to go. We can play that Call of Duty game, and it's going to work. But you're going to have to make sure you did the calibration, but there's in-game calibration. So you have to go and do the in-game calibration. So that's just the brightness adjustment. So you're going to go here and adjust the brightness the same way as you did for the console. So right now it says that This should not be visible, but I can clearly see it. I don't know if you can see it or not. I'm going to adjust the ISO right there. So you can see that the Call of Duty logo is there. It should not be visible. So I'm going to press the lower button and decrease the brightness. Okay, this is where it just disappears. So I'm going to click confirm and you guys are good to go. And now you can enjoy your multiplayer and play the Call of Duty at 4K, 120 Hz with amazing calibration that you have just done. And I'll show you how it shows on the TV. So on the TV, if you want to see, you're going to press this button right here. See the 1, 2, 3 button? We're going to press that button. The menu is going to come up and we're going to hit this button right here. You see 1, 2, 3, colorful one. And we're going to hit info. So at the top, you can see that it's running 120p, which is 120 Hertz. So I'm going to go back again. It just stays for like just a few seconds. So I'm going to hit that button again, info. It's 2160p, 120 Hertz, input signal plus, Ultra HD. We're good to go. And this is all about this video, guys. Make sure to hit the subscribe button so you will be notified for the next videos. Until then, peace out and have a great one. Have a great weekend. We're still in the weekend, right? So have a good one.